Good Saturday afternoon. We have a few things to do today. It's actually not raining, even though it's rainy season. We have watered the plants in here. But, yeah, nothing's spoken out yet. But it's only been like 2 days, 3 days, something. 3 days, I guess. But yeah, need to see if I have tomato cages for the 2 tomato plants that are actually doing pretty well. And maybe do a little bit of tilling. Plowing. Tilling? Yeah, tilling. Still get those words mixed up. And yeah, but start with a tour, I guess. The little habaneros. The little jalapenos that got transplanted. The big jalapeno that got transplanted. Some very bolted spinach. Very pathetic looking jalapeno. Jalapeno. Well, I guess we can go over here. My wife has been weeding all of this. So it looks a lot better than it was. Than it did. I can speak English. See where we ran out of gas for the day. Metaphorical gas. But yeah, we got some beans, which again, not bad for some store-bought beans that I just soaked and threw in the ground. Ooh, murder hornets. Plenty of those around here. I don't know what these are, but pollinators, the bees love them, like the normal bees, not the wasps. So they're always hanging out, getting a bit of nectar and pollen. The big weed that I need to take out of there. This soil hasn't been tilled in a while, but it's still quite loose. And not blowing away, importantly. I still want to put a fence up here. I'm using still this netting as a windbreak. I've taken some of it out. And my wife weeded this already too, which I believe these are green beans. We have some cucumbers next door. Lots of weeds. I think that's a sweet potato, but I don't know. Those are just weeds. Green beans, which are moving around, are chingansai, bok choy, which is basically just food for the bugs. Oh no, these are the sweet potatoes. What are those things? Maybe those are sweet potatoes too, I don't remember. We've got some nice peppers coming on. And our kabocha squash. Japanese pumpkin, as you might call it. We're hanging out. There's a pretty big guy down there. So this, yep, it had a flower on it, so we might get one more eggplant out of this guy, which is fine. I'm not a huge fan, but my wife loves them. And yeah, corn. What's in here? I don't know what you are. Oh, you are soybeans. But yep, you can see we got some little ears of corn coming up. You can see the fabulous view of the mountains. Yeah, we got some green tomatoes happening here. I don't know if tomato cage will help with this or not. But we'll give it a look. What's going on there? I don't know. Got our tassel turning brown here, but you can see, I guess, my fist. And then stink bugs everywhere. Two grape plants I planted are hanging in there. Next year I hope to make this mostly or all grapes. Our mini tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, looking pretty decent. Our wasp trap is trapping wasps. I'm walking in the wrong direction. So we have blueberries that are ready. I mentioned the other day that a lot of them weren't actually getting ripe, but that has been solved. And they are fantastically delicious. You can hear something going on. Just a little festival area nearby. I don't know what these are, but when I mowed, I've left a handful of them there in the gravel since they're pretty. My spider house. I guess my wind vane. That is still upright, even though we've had some like 11 meter per second winds. Oh, yep, I need to mow this again. So I might as well call this the mowing channel. Persimmon tree. See some persimmons. And our ume tree, plum tree. Yeah, we really need to start picking these. The season goes through the end of July, basically. But yeah, maybe that's what we should do before we go to finish for the day. The ever-encroaching bamboo seems to have slowed down a little bit, but it's gonna, rain every day for the next 2 weeks, so I suspect there will be more. My compost-ish pile is breaking down nicely. I do need to get out here and flip that. And we'll head around to the back now. As I trip over my tripod. Uh-oh. So these are perfect places for wasps to nest, which I don't necessarily mind. But you can see, like, this is anything that I planted is buried in kudzu. And the other native vines hanging out here. Be careful of snakes. I haven't been back in here to trim this because, well, there's some either squash or watermelon that I planted. The blackberry's trying to hang on. The kudzu is trying to kill everything. My compost pile over here is completely overgrown. Need to mow here as well. The mowing channel. This wet weather is, speaking of wasps, been crazy. But recently we've been eating these guys. These are loquat, biwa in Japanese. A lot of them are actually a little too far gone, but they're delicious. That's good. We like things that we can eat on the property. Coming around here. more bees. So yeah, the okra that I thought was done for has survived. Lemongrass, I don't know. It's not dead, but we'll see. We just transplanted that, what, last weekend? Maybe not even a week ago. The celery still seems to be hanging in there. But let's think about getting some actual work done. I think I'm going to get rid of that bush too this autumn or winter. It's not growing anything I want to eat. And it brings wasps right by my house, which I don't like. All right. Any snakes or birds or bees? Well, wasps. We wouldn't have bees in here. That'd be quite surprising. So maybe I should turn on the ventilation. Yeah, that's the light. Oh, I've had the ventilation on. Well, that's fine. Now, do we have tomato cages? We do have lots of trays for planting. You might ask why I didn't use the trays. I just have terrible luck trying to transplant jalapenos and stuff when they're pretty delicate. And especially with the crazy amount of wind that we have here, they need to get bigger. That's the two mistakes I made the first time. I didn't harden any of them off. And they got killed, bleached to death by the sun. Yeah, the wind wiped out there. So yeah, you can see we took a table out of here. And that is what I'm growing all of those other plants on. Now, I have tomato cages. I do not have big tomato cages. That's unfortunate. Okay. So yeah, these are the size of the tomato cages that I have. I don't know if we should stake any of these guys up or not. Do I have any twine? I do have twine. I'm sure that's not a yoga mat, but it sure looks like one. It's always the fascinating game of what do we have in here. So this winter, I'm actually going to redo all of this and take a proper inventory of just everything we have going on. That's weird. It sounded like rain for a second. I guess that's just the wind. I don't know that I want to be in here in an earthquake. And we had like 3 or 4 in the last as many days. If you look here, you can see that pier is not having the best time. So that's a little bit worrying. But yeah, I also hear buzzing, which scares me. Live somewhere else. Don't live in here, please. We do have a tomato. So this is actually a tomato growing thing. I think it's supposed to have nets clipped to it for things to climb, but we're a little late for that. So yeah, I think maybe those guys are just gonna have to hang out and do their best. All right, so what we have to do now is get at least this section of fence out. So let's try to do that. Well, that was far easier than expected. Tomato staking. Kinda done. Hot wave. And beautiful scenery.